Yeah, here we are, folks, back again. The NFL conference championships have been decided, and the dance card has been filled out for Super Bowl 50. 56? Yeah, Super Bowl 56 in SoFi Stadium. And tell you what, without further ado, I'm getting ready to bring on the guys. AJ Jones, Lunch Break, KYOK, Elwyn Henderson, the Gilmer coming on. And gentlemen, we let's get after it. Before we get after it, then let me just go ahead. If you've been living on the rock and you don't care about what the score was, the Cincinnati Bengals came back and took down the Kansas City Chiefs 27-24, and the Los Angeles Rams, second year in a row, a home team in their home stadium, will get to play at home for a Super Bowl. They took down the 49ers today 20-17. But before I open it up to you all and let me go ahead and get this off my chest. All these jokers have been walking around here hemorrhaging, empathy and sympathy for the Buffalo Bills because they thought they was done so unfairly wrong with the overtime rules. Today, what happened? Oh, guess what? The Chiefs won the toss again. But guess what? The Bengals learned how to play defense, and guess what? They intercepted a pass. Redemption, come back, kick the winning field goal. And guess what? Guess who's at home washing their uniform? Oh, Patrick Mahomes. Guess who's going on the road? Joe Burrow. So much for all this diatribe about, feeling, now it's not so fair. They need to have an opportunity. They had an opportunity, and see what happened. They didn't win again today. So you know what? Enough said. I'm done. Gentlemen, welcome on back to the corner. Any initial reactions to the Chiefs and the Cincinnati Bengals? Am anybody surprised? I am.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, AD. The thing that surprised me more than anything is I don't know what happened to Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator with the Chiefs, but their play calling defensively in the second half was horrific, I thought.
Right. Yep.
AJ?
No, I agree. And listen, the kid from Cincinnati is surprised that these Bengals came back from that deficit against Kansas City in Kansas City. And I'm with Elwyn. I lay it right at the feet of Spagnuolo.
No, I don't. I'm gonna be the contrary. I'm gonna lay it at the feet. I'm going right back to the feet of Patrick Mahomes now. I'm going back to the feet at the end of the first half when they blew that opportunity. They could have really blew this game wide open, and they blew it. As far as I'm concerned, I lay this defeat at the feet at the Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey, and all the rest of them. You had a superstar version of the Los Angeles Lakers or the Boston Celtics. You name it. I don't care what you want to call it. I'm putting it at the feet of Patrick Mahomes now because Patrick Mahomes thought he was Curly Neal running around there with the ball, and then he didn't protect it because he at a certain point you got to cut your losses.
Yeah.
Right. And he did. And he's a very talented kid. I'm applauding, but today you did not live up to the expectations. Because if you wanted the ball in your hands, Andy Reid gave him the opportunity at the end of the first half there, and he did not. You don't throw a check down pass to the running back. You find somebody in that end zone and save yourself an opportunity. At least get 3. You didn't get nothing out of it. And when they came back, even though they got the opening kickoff in the second half, they want first 3 possessions. They scored in the first half. The next 4 possessions in the second half, they went down maybe a couple possessions and they were punting. They did not give their defense an opportunity because, as far as I'm concerned, Spagnuolo done what he was supposed to do. But if you don't challenge your defense and control the ball, that's the way the NFL is constructed now. The way the rules are constructed now, you keep giving an offense a chance to come back, and that's what's going to happen. And that's what happened. I'm the contrarian on this point right here, guys. I put this loss at the feet of the offense because when you had a chance to drive the stake in the heart, you didn't. And guess what? Dracula, the sunlight didn't kill Dracula. He messed around there and turned the light on you. That's me. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Y'all can keep offering your defenses all you want. That's it. As far as I'm concerned. I mean, I don't want to see another, State Farm commercials, either Don't offer me no. I don't want to hear all that noise. So I'll still keep my State Farm. But you know what? That's it. That's where I'm at, guys.
Well, I'll tell you what, AD. Here is. I will give you a partial agreement. That was a mistake before the half, definitely. But those plays when they had 3 yards to go for the touchdown that would have given them the 4-point lead, that's not on Patrick. That's on the play calling. And no, those plays were not called by Eric Bieniemy. Andy Reid called those plays. I listened to his post-game press conference, and he said he called those plays near the goal line, and looking back at it, he didn't give Patrick a chance. So I'll give Patrick a little credit for messing up, but I think mainly offensively that last possession when they should have had a touchdown to pretty much seal it, that's on Andy Reid with the play calling. He's got an extremely talented offensive coordinator in Eric Bieniemy. Why did he overrule Bieniemy and call the plays? And he admitted in his post-game press conference that he called those plays.
Okay, good. He fell on the sword as a leader should.
Yep.
Yeah.
But okay, all right, that's good. Send him some flowers. I don't care.
Yeah. AD, let me jump in here too, and I don't want to seem like I'm an apologist for Andy Reid or Eric Bieniemy or Patrick Mahomes, but we always heard defense wins championships, right? Yeah. Not playing defense will lose championships. And when you're up 21-10 and you're Kansas City, you mean to tell me that's not enough points for that defense to keep Cincinnati in check? I'm looking at this box score, and I'm looking at 21-10, and then you give up 11 points in the third, 3 points in the fourth, and 3 in the overtime. Pat Mahomes wasn't guarding anybody on defense, brother. Pat Mahomes wasn't stopping the run. I'm sorry. He put up 21, and yeah, there was some missed opportunities in the end of the first half, and definitely missed opportunities when you're down on the goal line. Should have scored a touchdown, been up by 4, and put the pressure on a young team, young coach, young quarterback, young wide receivers, all the above. They didn't do that, but they don't have to do that if that defense stands up.
True.
Okay, all right. I'm not conceding anything because but I'm just not gonna concede it because here's my deal, guys. The way the NFL is constructed right now is laid out for it's really designed to let teams come back on you. You almost have to be the 85 Bears.
That's true.
Let's face it.
I'll give you that.
You have to be the 85 Bears, or you got to be the 2006 Ravens. I could be wrong, but whichever the one with Suggs and all those, you almost literally have to be pitching a shutout every game if you want to do that. And the way the rules are constricted now, are constructed, there's a constriction because you know what? Everybody loves a comeback. You know what? Joe Burrows is now he's the golden child right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He is the golden child. Patrick Mahomes, but you know what? You're a vet now. You've been there. You've been in a couple of Super Bowls. Won one. And so, we were expecting better. You asked for the ball. You said, put the ball in my hands.
I'll give you that.
He put the ball in his hand. Yep. And what did you do? And then you start acting like you were Curly Neal back there. Instead of throwing the football, you start dribbling the football, and then you finally start fumbling the football. No, I'm comfortable in my skin where I'm at as far as this criticism is concerned. But you know what? Let's face it. Let me tip my hat to DJ Reader. I mean, it's
yeah.
I hated to see the big fella go because Elwyn, and AJ, guys like that, Clemson coach. I think we just about got to get rid of everything that came with the Clemson. At one while, this was almost like Clemson South down here with all the players that we were getting in, But with the exception of and I'm gonna get Deshaun Watson. That'll be the last I'll say of his name tonight on the show. But as it stands right now, DJ Reader's getting ready to play in the Super Bowl, guys.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Yep.
So hats off to him, big fella. I sent him a little congratulatory. I'll say it up front. I had a great relationship with DJ here. It was funny. The guy was a funny character, funny as all I do. So I appreciate it, man. But hey, be ye that as it may, Joe Burrows and the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, I'm just amazed because last time I remember was it Sam Weiss and what Boomer Esiason? Was it that that was the last time that the Cincinnati Bengals were in a if I remember playing Jerry Rice or the 49ers. Maybe I'm going back too far.
No, you're right.
I think
you're
right on.
Yeah. Listen, I was there. Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Okay, I didn't have my prevision today, guys. I skipped it today.
So that's when John Taylor broke the heart of Cincinnati fans all over the world.
Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah. And when Joe Montana was when he was starting knocking, he was on his way to his third or his fourth Super Bowl MVP. So you got to take it for what I tip my hat off to him. And so as far as I'm concerned, Cincinnati Bengals can go in the SoFi Stadium and walk out of there Super Bowl champions in 2 weeks. I know we're gonna make our picks at the end of the show. But trust me, I would go ahead and throw my hat in the ring and throw that Bengals hat in the ring right now because you really, I mean, when you start thinking about it, they got Chase, they got a lot of the other kids that nobody knows about. Nobody sort of takes them at face value. Does Joe Burrows even shave yet? I mean, he didn't even look like he shaved. I mean, so anyway, so if he's starting to shave, good, but as far as going up against that gritty bunch, the LA Rams, and switching over to the Rams, the players for the Los Angeles Rams saved Sean McVay's butt.
Yeah, they did.
Some of the most horrible, ridiculous challenges and just a waste of timeouts. And to me, it looked like he was. I thought he was really choking in some of his decisions that he made. The players bailed his butt out tonight.
That's true.
And those players, good players make good coaches. Make coaches look good. And Sean, he's sharp, bright, and all this. But tonight, I thought he was turning blue at the gill. Floor y'all got to jump in. I mean, I could be. Am I being too harsh? If I am, so what?
Well, I agree with you. He did look like a panicked coach there near the end. And I still believe that the biggest reason they pulled it off, I am a huge Aaron Donald fan. I mean, he was the difference in that game when it counted tonight.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know what the nature or the context was when Aaron Donald called that defense over to the sideline. Right. But he didn't look like he was talking about dinner plans.
No.
And Aaron Donald is one of those guys that when he speaks, you're paying full attention. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to wrestle with him because I drifted off or I decided to go in a different direction. He kept that team focused. And I got to say it, man, Cooper Kupp is the man. But Beckham Jr. made some big catches down the stretch to keep that team in the game. And what can you say about Matthew Stafford? Everything that you said about Patrick Mahomes, you could not say about Matthew Stafford. So you're right. That team and players saved Coach Sean McVay from blowing that whole deal.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you something else that really impressed me. Several years ago in Arizona, last time the Super Bowl was in Arizona, I covered the Pro Bowl game then and had a chance to visit with Odell Beckham. And he made a good impression on me. I know a lot of people have thrown him under the bus, but I was even more impressed with him, besides what he did in the game, to see him go over and console Dabo.
Yeah. You're right.
That spoke volumes to me about the young man.
Yeah. No, and it was across the board because you saw Stafford go over and console Garoppolo. Right. You saw Aaron Donald run over and say something to other defensive players. A lot of respect for that LA Rams team heading into this game. And again, the way the team rallied around their challenges because they definitely, and I use that pun intended, their challenges almost killed them in that game.
Absolutely.
Oh, you know who I'm gonna tell you. I mean, and Elwyn, you know, but both of y'all probably. But I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you. You know who Cooper Kupp remind me of? And I'm reaching way back for this one. Lance Allworth.
Yep.
Bambi. He reminds me so much. Not what's his face at the NBC. Not Chris Collinsworth. None. Cooper Kupp reminds me of Lance Allworth because he's not heavy footed. He's thin. Bambi was thin. Bambi was very light on his feet. And I'm telling you something. Really, you know, they all. I mean, Cooper Kupp probably is taller than Lance Allworth. I mean, if when you think about it, but for the life of me, man, I see Lance Allworth out there when I see Cooper Kupp because, and let's face it, Lance Allworth had to play when they could not only bump and run, they would beat you up down the field.
Yep.
They could literally commit an assault on a receiver, as opposed to what they're doing right now with 5-yard chuck rule and don't do this and don't do that because but Allworth I see Lance Allworth. I see number 19 with that San Diego Chargers and because the way how he had light feet and Kupp can get away, and it's amazing how this guy can just get away from folks. He has a great way of separating from a DB. Although the rules have changed, I would love, would he be the type of Lance Allworth who could get away from just lockdown corners? I don't know. But I know that's just my opinion, guys. I mean, I just threw that out there when I was sitting there and I kept thinking. I said, "Darn it," I just went back and said, "This is Lance Allworth, not Fred Biletnikoff or anybody like that." I just thought this is Lance Allworth. That's just, I know I dug back in the archives for that when somebody gonna say, What century was that football? But
us old guys know.
Well, that's true. Let's face it. I got these gray hairs. I've earned the right to have these gray hairs.
Likewise.
And so, but hey, moving on. Just the fact that and AJ, you made a good point, man, because I'm not sure what Aaron Donald, and you know what? Aaron Donald is not going to win the Defensive Player of the Year award.
No.
He won't win it this year. No. But you know what? If he walks away with that Super Bowl trophy this year, I don't really think he cares.
He won't care in the least.
At all. I mean, what did he do after the game?
Yeah.
Yep.
He's not worried about that. He bring me my ring.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And to me, I think that if he has not sealed, if Aaron Donald hadn't gone ahead and put his stamp of approval for the Hall of Fame, and I know he's still got several good years left in him.
Yeah,
I think if they win, to me, Aaron Donald has already stamped himself for the Hall of Fame. And
I would agree.
I don't have a vote. But you guys can think different. I mean, chime in. Feel free to just tell me I'm crazy.
I'm with Elwyn. I'm one of those guys. If I got to think about if a guy's a Hall of Famer, he's probably not. With Aaron Donald, it just goes. It just goes. Yeah. Yep.
Elwyn, you got any 2 cents from up there? Oh, by the way, while we at it, let's go ahead and do the shout out to you. I know you got some folks watching now. Look, I think you got somebody down there in Australia, some little chick in Australia.
You're so bad, AD.
Elwyn.
Hey, yeah, all Neil.
I need to roll my britches legs up.
Yeah, well, you know what? Every time I see that commercial for that betting, I'm not gonna give them a free plug here because they're not advertising up there in the corner. Now, if they want to advertise in the corner,
excuse me, guys, I'm sorry.
I'll go ahead, but I'm not giving. But every time I think about that the one that that with that king and with that Cleopatra looking, yeah, okay, all right. But that's as well as I play charades on that one. I'm not going to give them a free plug because they want to stick their name up in the corner. They can feel more than free. But I think I tip my hat. I tip my hat to them, man. But it's going to be interesting, man. Can the Rams pull it off? Can the Rams pull it off? Elwyn, AJ, can they pull it off?
I think they not only can, I think they will.
Why?
I think they still have a burr in their side from what happened when they were at the Super Bowl 2 years ago. I think they want redemption, and now they've gotten their chance at it, and I just think they're going to find a way to do it.
AJ?
I'm kind of on the other side, and not because I think Cincinnati's the better team, but at what point do you count Cincinnati out? I mean, Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times and found a way to bring them back.
Yep.
They were down 21-10 to Kansas City, one of the most high-powered offenses in the game, and they found a way to come back. So at what point do you count Cincinnati out? So with what they got going on, with their young quarterback, with their young wide receiver, with their young coach, and I give Joe Mixon and P. Ryan some credit as well, and that defense. I got to give that defense credit because it reminds me of Tony Dungy's old Indianapolis Colts defense, bend but don't break.
Right.
You know, they get tough at the right time. So I don't know. This just might be their season. I'm not talking destiny or anything like that, but this just might be their season. So I'm going to roll with my team and the hot hand right now, Cincinnati. At what point do you count them out?
Well, I don't think you can count either team out. I honestly feel like that the Super Bowl is going to come down just like Super Wild Card Weekend did, and just like Divisional Weekend did, and just like the Championship Weekend today did. I think it is going to be an extremely close ball game.
Agreed. Likewise.
You know what? I would. You know, this is something funny, man. Not funny. You remember when everybody when the Super Bowl, when New Jersey got the Super Bowl, and you know, at that time, you know, Max and I was sitting there. I'm going like, and you know, everybody was about to kill Roger Goodell. Hey man, it's gonna snow. It's gonna do this. It's gonna. And you know, Max says something, and you know, as typical Max, he said, "Roger know the Lord too."
That's good.
Wow.
And because the temperature at game time was in the 40s?
No, it was like 51 at kickoff.
Okay, all right, thanks, Elwyn. I mean, and up the week leading up, you know, we were in coach. I mean, we going down to Harlem, and I'm trying to figure out, did I have enough clothes to put on? Come game time, man, I had to start stripping, man, and I wasn't getting paid.
Well, you know, we had that. If you remember, they had those huge, big heaters above us.
Yeah,
it was like 79 or 80 degrees where we were sitting that day.
Yeah, and you know, and the thing about it, Roger was walking around. Roger's sitting there, you know, glad-handed and just walking around with the fans. And I'm going like, I'll be John Brown. He pulled it off. he pulled it off. And you know, and as our tradition, Max and I, you know, we were sitting down there right across from the Ed Sullivan Theater, you know, having our cigars and just you know, we crowned into another great Super Bowl trip. And by that, you know, across from the Ed Sullivan Theater, and by that time, we saw one of New York's finest come up out of the grates and stand up there and go like, "Yo, bro, where y'all from?"
Oh man!
And about 4:00 that morning, all of a sudden it started raining, and that rain turned to sleet. And the next thing you know, it started snowing.
Yep.
And I think we caught the last flight out before they shut it down. And
Wow.
on that flight we left out of there, they de-iced that plane, I think, 3 times before we finally got out. And what we found out once we got out, we were able to get off the runway. And after that, we heard, they shut it in because they had to plow. You know, they were brushing, getting the snow, keeping the snow plows off and getting the runway clear. After that, I don't know who all had to live at LaGuardia and everything, but we got out. But you know, it was another one of the trips that Max and I just so happened. So Elwyn, you know, tell us about. I mean, you and I know I'll be seeing you in California.
You bet.
But you got a heck of a 3 weeks coming up. I mean, you want to just give us a rundown on this?
Yeah, I know you and I have discussed it before. I've got a good friend named Mike Malarkey who has been a New York Giants photographer for over 40 years now. And he and I were talking, and we always get together Super Bowl week. And he said, "Hey, why don't you plan to come out and we'll both cover Pro Bowl since that's in Vegas?" I said, "Yeah, I'd like to see a game at Allegiant. Yeah, I'll do that." So I changed my flight plans to go into Vegas. And then he calls me up and a couple of days later and he said, "Man, I just discovered the East West Shrine game is out there on Thursday night before the Pro Bowl on Saturday. Why don't you come out on Tuesday the 1st and we'll just make a 2-week deal of it?" So I'm going to get to cover 3 games in 10 days. So I'm going to go out with a bang this season.
Yeah, you are, because 2 of them
That's
games.
outstanding.
Hey, in 2 of them games, nobody's gonna give a darn about who won or not.
That's true. That's true. And somehow or another, I got to write a story making it sound like it was an awesome game in both cases.
You know what? But let me put it like this. I think you can go put Australian rule football on there and something, and they would go like, "Oh, okay." If you slap the NFL on it right now, because let's face it, the Pro Bowl is not in Hawaii anymore. It hadn't been in Hawaii so long. So in the NFL, even though they printing money like they got their own printing press, but it's interesting. But they won't. I don't think the Pro Bowl will ever see the islands again. Not in the near future. Not the way that them 32 or 31. I don't want to slight the Packers because the city owns them. But those other 31 oligarchies that the way they like money, and when Terry Bradshaw gave Stan Kroenke presented him the Georgia's Hallis Award.
Yep.
I had a flashback, and I was wondering how many of the owners, I was thinking about that deal that Jerry Jones had brokered. Remember that wound up getting SoFi Stadium, and the deal that they had just came to an agreement with the city of St. Louis for leaving with that suit and everything. Right. And the other owners were sort of going like, all of a sudden at the last moment he said, I don't think I'm gonna be able to pay all of this, and all of them were like, "What do you mean?" And, because like I say, conceive it and correct me if I think the deal with SoFi and what he done with far as what the NFL and building them the NFL studios, all new studios and everything out there. He roughly put about $30 million in each one of the owners' pockets on that deal. So if and that just proves, man, hey man, these guys know how to make money, and they don't to get off. They don't like to get off money. And when they was upset with Stan, I know Stan's sitting there now. Y'all want to get mad at me now?
Yeah.
Come on out here. Come on out here to Los Angeles. And whatever that rumor, and Elwyn, I think you heard in AJ, that rumor, somebody said, well, if COVID keep up like this, they talking about bringing the Super Bowl to Jerry World. I want like hell. Excuse the French.
Yeah. Didn't work real well the last time.
Right. I was at that Snow Bowl the last time. It was cool. It was colder in Dallas-Fort Worth, Arlington area than it was for the New Jersey Super Bowl. It was horrible, man. It was crazy.
Oh, we know. And it said, that Thursday night we came back from the Fritz Pilot event, and we pulled up. It was early. Let me put it like this: it was sort of early in the morning. We pulled in, and some guy come walking up on us, want to know if we have any change, and Max sort of said, and we sort of went like, "Oh no, man, we got no change." And he went on. Max said, "Did you see him coming up?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, what were you doing?" I said, "Waiting for him to make a wrong move."
Man.
I was going to wait for him to make a wrong move because the Korner was just going to come pick him up. I mean, that's all to it. I mean, because this guy came out of nowhere early in the morning, and that Friday morning, we woke up, man, and they had icicles hanging off the side of them. And AJ, and Elwyn, y'all know, they had like big stalagmite icicles hanging off the deal, and I'm going this is Dallas?
Yeah. I'm curious to find out how many insurance claims they had that weekend, man, because there were cars in ditches, there were cars in ravines, there were cars all on the side of the road that it was just crazy, man. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Well, all right, guys. I think we already about ready to wrap it up. All right, Elwyn, you pick. You still sticking with the Rams, huh?
I'm going to go with the Rams, and I'm going to say by 2 points.
2 points. Who gonna get the safety?
We're going to have a missed extra point somewhere.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. AJ, what do you think?
Bengals, and I'm leaning towards Elwyn. Bengals by 1. Some kind of way they're gonna get 1 more point than the LA Rams and bring the first chip back to Cincinnati, Ohio. Man, listen.
You know, I'm going with the Bengals. I'm gonna go with the Tigers, and I'm gonna throw this caveat: if they have to go in overtime, all bets off. But I think if the Bengals can force the Rams to get in overtime, and what poetic justice would it be? Because 2 years in a row, the home team had been able to play in their stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This time, the home team will have to stand there and watch the visitors on their own field and watch them celebrate. And if they have to go to overtime, I think Joe Burrows and Chase and the rest of them, P. riding them, and DJ Reader, I like the big fella could walk out of there, man, and I think it just could leave some folks out there in California real disappointed. So as it stands right now, I think we got 1 Ram and 2 Bengals.
All right,
yes,
well,
sir.
I'm going to say this, AD. It wouldn't bother me to see the Bengals win.
No.
Because my beloved high school Gilmer Buckeyes colors are orange and black. I can't lose either way.
I like it. That's a good man right there. That's a good man.
You know what? What some of the sponsors that work for the Gilmer, that advertising the Gilmer Mirror, they're gonna probably go out there and probably extend their advertising for another 6 months just because of what you just did, man. Hey guys, I tell you what, next week.
Got one more thing, AD.
Go ahead, man. Hell, please jump in. Time is on our side.
If you got just a minute,
go ahead.
I think we ought to talk briefly about the Texans head coaching situation, because the latest thing I'm hearing, which is really strange to me, is that Josh McCown may even be the leading candidate right now for that spot.
You know what? I was putting that off. I was gonna make that a show back, but since you brought it up,
sorry.
No. Because AJ, go ahead, because I'm getting ready to line up a couple of columnists for the Houston Chronicle, and I'm gonna line them up, and because you said that David Culley shouldn't have got the job, he wasn't qualified to get the job. So explain to me what on Josh McCown's resume, when I put it up against David Culley, makes his so much more superior. That he's now had his 3rd interview, according to the caption. He's had his 3rd interview, and only thing he's got on his resume from a coaching perspective is high school.
Yep.
And you're gonna tell me that this man has the wherewithal, the capabilities, the leadership that's going to go out there and lead a professional team? You believe that, AJ? I mean, I haven't been to the vapor shop or anything neither.
No, what I want you all to do, Elwyn and AD, I want y'all to be sure and just kind of send me some of your notes, because I'm gonna be the guy to get my credentials taken. I'm going to ask those questions in that meeting room. I want to know, the last guy sat here and got questioned for 18 weeks about why he was qualified to have the job and if he thought he had done enough to keep the job. And my first question is going to be, why do you feel like you're qualified for this job and the other guy was not? So when they take my credentials, y'all just slide me some notes so I have some stuff to put out to our listeners on KYOK. I'm going in, brother. I got to know. Inquiring minds want to know. The good folks up in Greens Point, the good folks over in Acres Homes, they want to know why Josh is more qualified than David Culley. And I got to ask those questions. I'm sorry.
Well, no, you don't have to be sorry. No. I'm just going like, when you look at it on, I mean, they said that trust us, which I'm going, as soon as somebody say trust me, I'm already locked and loaded because I'm going like, no, I ain't, I'm not here. But the fact that this guy is in the position, the fact of the fact that y'all done interviewed this guy 3 times. I am baffled.
Yeah.
I'm not really baffled. I'm not
reportedly offered him an assistant head coaching position last season. Reportedly. So what is it about Josh that you are just going to create or make him a head coach? Whether he's qualified or not, you're going to make him a head coach. That's insulting to anyone who coaches to have this kid, as far as coaching goes, tagging along and trailing along, and you got to answer questions to him. I don't mean it would be disrespectful, but it just makes a further mockery of the organization, and it spits in the face of good, hard-earned money, paying fans and season ticket holders. This city deserves better than this. And I'm sorry, when Nick Caserio was asked at the end of the year, the morale is low. What makes you think that you'll be able to turn this around and make this fan base think that you want to win? Bringing in Josh is not going to do that. I'm sorry, it's not going to do that.
Well, I've scratched my head ever since I heard he got the first interview. And I know, AD, I told you about this. He coached in Rusk, Texas, about 90 miles from where I live this past season, high school. His son was the quarterback on the team. And 3 weeks ago, Friday night, Gilmer played boys basketball in Gilmer against Rusk, and Josh was there. I went over and talked to him for about 5 or 10 minutes. Great guy. But, I was scratching my head from the get-go when I heard he was interviewed before Culley was hired last year. And then to hear that he was being interviewed again, asking myself, okay, where is the thinking coming from? And the only thing that I can come up with in my brain that makes any sense, they're saying, oh, well, he played for 13 teams. He knows everything about everybody in the entire NFL. That's the only thing that I can figure how he would get an interview.
Well, they put it like this. Hines Ward brings credibility when you put it up against his. Hines Ward had a better resume for that, if that's the case.
True. Very
Hines Ward, and I scratched my head about that interview. I think he was checking the boxes.
Yeah.
I'll say this straight up front. The Texans was checking the box when that second Hines Ward on account of the Rooney Rule.
Yep.
Which they have just bastardized and just made a mockery of.
Yeah, but not just them, but that's what it's become.
Yeah,
that's what it's become.
No, that's what it's become. But you said you had to have 2 minority candidates, and so Hines, come on through here.
Right.
Even if they gave him 2 hours in lunch, whatever the case might be. Right. But the fact that Hines Ward resume laying up against Josh, because at least Hines Ward's got a Super Bowl and some other things. To his credit, he understands how to win.
Right. Elwyn, I've stood in at least 13 bars, man. I am now a Long Island iced tea.
Gotcha.
I identify as a Long Island iced tea. That's what I've been in at least 13 bars. I got that credential.
Okay.
Gentlemen,
I don't even know how to respond to that one.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will. It still might be some children up watching. I don't know why. They ought to be getting ready to go to bed, but we'll keep it lighthearted. But no, man, I had thought about it, but since you went on and pulled the covers back on them, and I'm going like, oh, the king doesn't have any clothes on. The king ain't had no clothes on in a long time. And the thing about it, y'all want to try to sell this? If y'all going to sell this, and Nick gonna come up with all that garbage salad that he rolled out in his final press conference, about what the organization and how David Culley has helped. We had a mess and he done helped. Basically, what he's saying was we gave David a broom and a pitchfork and told him go clean the stables. David to clean the stables out, and now I need to bring somebody else in here to ride. He got rid of all the mule jackasses and everything else. Now I'm bringing somebody in to ride the thoroughbred across the finish line, and to me that's resentful. I'm highly resentful of that, and the fact that you expecting us and to take this at face value, and it's an insult.
It really is, and that's the part. And again, no shade at Josh, none whatsoever. I
Sure.
know. Listen, if they offer me the job, I'm taking it. I'm just telling you now. Y'all can talk about me for 18 weeks. But what? Where's Doug Peterson? Where? How did they miss out on the Josh McDaniels sweepstakes? Where's Brian Floyd? Give me credibility. I mean, I might not like the pick, but if it's a credible pick, if it's someone who at least has some experience on this level, again, don't bring me another college coach. Don't play that game. I don't trust Jack Easterby and Nick Caserio creating a coach. Where's Doug Peterson? Where's Jim Caldwell? Where's somebody like that? If you're telling me that Josh is better than those, then now I know you're as crazy as we thought you were.
Well, I mean, Elwyn, you already alluded to it. And I think, AJ, when Matt Musil asked him what doing that final
that's
one,
right. Great question.
When he asked him, what are you going to do? And to me, the person, I mean, taking everybody in consideration, and I said this, 2 weeks ago on this very platform, why not D'Amico Ryans?
Yep.
Trust me. I mean, he sit there he sit there and then has captained the defense. He has coordinated the defense. Oh, great story today in the Chronicle about the Minority Report. I'll give them their kudos for that one because they went back, they done some digging, and to me that's a pathetic story. It shouldn't have been on the cover. It should not have been on the cover of the sports page. It should have been on the cover of the front page of the Chronicle. It should. That's where it really should have been. On the left fold, or at the full up at the top masthead of the, because the NFL, Roger, and all the rest of them, I give you due, but I'm gonna call you out. And Troy Vincent, he was reported as saying, one day we'll get to the point where we won't have to worry about the Rooney Rule. Guess what? Y'all not worried about it now.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
The record as far as the Rooney Rule is concerned, y'all have just totally, it is a sham the way it is being carried out. And the fact that y'all giving up draft and Brooks, Brooks Kamina, for the Chronicle listed out, they were giving draft picks away, for doing interviews and so forth. And so I guess we don't. I mean, the Texans got a bushel basket full of draft picks. I guess they're not gonna get any more. They don't need any more. I don't know. And I mean, with the draft picks they got coming up this year, with what they trying to sell us right now, I don't trust anybody. I don't trust what they can come up with and evaluate a player that they can probably come in here and can put a team together. But the night is young. I mean, we hadn't got to the East-West Round game. They might have one scout at the East-West Round game. Elwyn, you'll let us know if you see any of the Texans scouts.
I will do that.
Guys, hey, you know what? I appreciate it. As always, it's been fun. I appreciate you. AJ?
Yes, sir.
Tell us where they can catch you at on the big KYOK. What time and what time?
Legendary KYOK, AM 1140, 92.3 FM, streaming live on KYOKradio.org. Monday through Friday from 12 to 2 Central. It's the lunch break.
And Elwyn, I know the Gilmer mirror, but I know sometimes I'll be in my class and I see you sitting up there with a plate of why don't you start writing a food column, man? Because
wow. Wow.
Hey, Dale Robinson went from a sports writer, and he writes about wines, man. So
yeah, that's true.
I mean, come on, man.
All I can say is you can call me anything, but don't call me late for dinner.
There you go. There you go.
No, you're right about that. Hey guys, as I cut you loose, I appreciate you. I'll be reaching out to you. Thank you. It's been fun. Elwyn, you know what? We'll hook it up when I get to Los Angeles. And AJ, as always.
Who day? Okay, who day?
Guys, take care. I'll see you, and take care of yourself. Okay.
All right,
guys.
You bet. AJ and AD enjoyed it.
All right, man. You take care. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as I get ready to wrap it up, I appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the gumbo tonight. It was fun. As we get ready to wrap it up, I want to always say thanks for the comments I've been getting on Facebook and Twitter. Though those that like it, I appreciate it. Those that didn't like it, I appreciate you because I appreciate your honesty. But That's just my way of just getting it done. And I'm gonna be straightforward, factual, and upfront. I'm not gonna lie to you, but you know what? I'm having fun, so I appreciate it. I will be in a couple of weeks. We'll be coming out of reports coming from Super Bowl 56. The spirit of Max Edison will be with me, and I'm looking forward to it. So, without further ado, peace, love, ciao. I'm out, folks.